Welcome to the Intuitive Teacup, my friends. These tarot readings are meant to motivate, empower, and inspire you. Please keep an open heart and an open mind as you watch these general readings, as some material will resonate and some might not. Do have faith it is serving someone out there, and take away only what resonates for you. Please release the rest. Feel free to book a personal reading with me if you would like something catered specifically to your inquiries and energy. That information is down below for you. You are responsible for all actions and decisions and the vibe that you bring to this channel. This is optional advice or guidance, and of course, you will always have free will. Check the box below for my social media links, the decks I use, and more information on this channel. Let's hop into your tarot reading. What's up, Virgo friends? Happy early Valentine's Day. We're going to do love and romance messages. Here's what we're going to talk about. Timestamps are below. We're going to talk about how you can love yourself more, what you contribute positively in relationships, areas where there is room for growth, a little zhuzhing, attention and focus to come here, and then who or what is coming into your life romantically. Scorpio. Just kidding. But maybe you definitely have a Scorpio card here. So let's go ahead and hop in. So how can you love yourself more? Words of positive affirmations to yourself, whether that's writing little post-its to yourself in the mirror. I know that's cheesy, but it does express your love. So certainly feel free to open up to those you have feelings and affection for, but and including family and friends, right? This part doesn't have to be romantic. However, because it's coming up in how do you love yourself more, you guys need to give yourself more credit. You need to not be so judgmental and critical of yourself and your achievement and your timeline. You need to take a breath and relax. And I know easier said than done. I know that's hard, but it's good to be reminded of that. I feel like a lot of you are in the process of doing a lot of internal work on yourself. You may be going through sort of a dark night of the soul, right? You will come out on the other side, though, if you really want to, right? If you believe in yourself, if you know you can. So you need to remember to express love to yourself more. And I know this sounds almost cheesy, but almost as if you were trying to romance or what is a good word for it? Help me out here, Spirit. What is the word I'm looking for? Almost as if you were trying to impress a romantic partner, especially in terms of kind of like, oh, I'm going to buy them flowers or chocolate or this or that. It doesn't have to necessarily be material goods, but you need to treat yourself as if you're dating yourself. You need to tell them how beautiful they look. You need to tell them how much they mean to you. You need to, whatever, but only you need to turn it inward. So, you need to take hot baths every night, and you need to, whatever, comfort yourself in a way that reminds you that it's almost like those hair commercials, because I'm worth it. But that's really what I get. I think a lot of you are too critical. You're overly critical of yourself, or there could even be you maybe going through a rough time where there's just a more pessimistic outlook or glass half empty vibe. That's where you can improve and love yourself more, is knowing that you will find a romantic partner, but your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're constantly living in the woe is me, life is so hard on me, nothing ever good comes, that's the type of romantic partner you're going to attract, and that sounds like a hot mess, Virgo. So raise your vibration, right? Simply said. You also shouldn't entertain offers from people who don't have good intentions, or people who okay, here's what it is. It's people who don't give you clarity. There's Two of Swords there, which ultimately to me, in a dating sense, it's kind of like, ugh, no, like Two of Swords is always shown with a blindfold and her swords up like crossed. There's a need to be more protective of your energy, because it feels like you're letting in a lot of romantic suitors that don't actually contribute positively. Like they create confusion for you, or they keep you stuck in your head. Like they say they're going to do it, but they never do. So you're like, well, they said they will, but they haven't. So should I? People who just create confusion, if they bring a cloud of confusion to your life, I think Spirit is saying throw up the walls, right? This is about entertaining offers from people who, they're just not good in the long run. I'm seeing the color purple. I don't know why that's important, but maybe that'll mean something to you. Did somebody buy you purple jewelry or a purple dress or a purple, something purple was given to you as a gift, and it was almost like someone was trying to buy your love, but they didn't have any commitment to you. It was almost like to pacify you, because I think they knew that you were getting kind of antsy and maybe putting a little bit of pressure on them of like, are we or aren't we, or are we going to move in together? Are we going to get, they felt like a little bit of like, Virgo's really coming down, so I almost have to do something to appease them, but it's almost like they were just doing it to delay it even more, because it's like, all right, well, and this is an example, right? It won't be everybody's story, but it's almost like if I buy them the bracelet, it shows I love them and they'll stop yapping. Like, that's gross. Like, what? That's the person you were dating? It may have been a Taurus. It could have even been a marriage that you were very unhappy in. This seems like something you may have gotten into when you were very young. You had a different set of standards. Perhaps you were a little bit naive and you still were figuring out what you wanted. It seemed like some of you may have connected with any zodiac sign, especially a Taurus. There may have even been marriage there, but you realized it ended up being a mental prison for you. So some of you have possibly have since liberated yourself. So that's good. You're honoring yourself. You're loving yourself by exiting any sort of commitment where there is a falsity. There's someone who isn't, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Someone who also loves to preach at you and tell you what you're doing wrong. Someone who's very critical, or it's almost with the Eight of Swords and the Hierophant, it could even be like in metaphor, the idea of brainwashing or gaslighting. You guys, are you familiar with that? So yeah, leaving partnerships that are toxic. It's like they talk a big game, but they have nothing to give you of substance. And Virgo, knowing you, that ain't gonna fly long. So honor yourself first. Put yourself first, please, Virgo. I know that's hard for a lot of you, but that would serve you well. Yeah, recognize your value. Stop giving it away to people who diminish that or don't recognize it. Have faith, too, that Spirit is trying to align you with the right person. But a lot of my Virgos, no offense, don't shoot the messenger, you are attracted to, like, cocky assholes. That's sort of what I'm getting. It's like you swoon over people who think they're God's gift to the world. And I don't know why that is, but it may even have to do with, like, I'm hearing the word systemic, but karmic, something to do with your family. You may have grown up in a household where, just for instance, the idea of masculinity of your father, maybe they were very boisterous and this and that, and that was your idea of like males, right? Males are not supposed to give affection and attention. They're supposed to be, almost like peacocking, and it could have been a Leo, but something like that, right? That may have been your idea of like what a man is supposed to act like in a relationship, and so you may have been seeking partnership that way, but then come to realize, but that's exactly it. There's no substance to give you. There's nothing to build a relationship on, because it's like they think they're cool and they know it. Well, I don't know. I get that maybe initially there's attraction there of confidence, right? Confidence and sexy. We like people who are courageous and confident. But the thing is, I feel like they put up those walls even when they're with you. Like this person isn't able to be vulnerable, because here's the thing. They're concealing a world of issues, I think. There's the thing is, it's a false confidence. It's a put on, because this person externally, wants to appear that they have their shit together, but it's to conceal parts of themselves that are actually very vulnerable, and they feel like they're hearing the word corroded, rotten. Things that they don't want to deal with, the shadow work, the healing work this person needs to do. They're not doing it, so they're hiding it. They're glamorizing it with, oh, I'm just going to appear on a horse and I'm going to offer my woman a fancy jewelry and roses and flowers, because I don't want them to know I'm a con artist. I don't have shit, right? So I don't mean to make this negative, but it's saying you need to look at the red flags and understand, is this person being calculating? Is there something they're not telling you, and for a reason? I think you need to be more protective of your energy. I think you need to love yourself first and romance and woo yourself, Virgo, okay? What do you contribute positively to relationships? This is positive stuff. This is what universe is saying. Nicely done. You're a good advocate. You're a good communicator in relationships. So don't hold back. You should speak your mind. Also, you are very good at picking up on vibes. There is like a psychic ability for some of you. When something's wrong, you immediately are like, ooh, that's weird. But I think some of you may be stifling your voice because of it, because you're wanting to give this person the benefit of the doubt. I think universe is saying you really should trust your intuition more. You do have very strong intuition. You have a very strong connection to spirituality, whatever your spirituality or religion is. I feel like there is divine guidance around you, and your spirit guides, angels, God, source, spirit, they do communicate with you quite a bit, and you receive the messages. It's that you don't always put them into action. So trust your gut feelings more. I think that would be very positive for you. And it's going to help you weed out the people who, I'm just hearing the word conniving. Oh, my Virgos, you were dealing with someone who's a little bit nasty energy. Okay, let's do this more. Physical touch is very important to a lot of you, so oh boy, don't underestimate earmuffs for the young guys not ready to hear this, or for the old ones, whatever. Don't underestimate the importance, I'm trying to be gentle, the importance of self-love, of pleasuring oneself. That's important for you, Virgo. That's very healthy for you. It's a good outlet of release. Whether you are single or married, don't underestimate the importance of your own physical touch. Okay, there, I said it. Spirit was asking me to relay it, so that's your business and your business alone. And I'm almost sort of hearing that's going to get you through the tough times. I know that's such a bizarre message, Virgo. So, I think that's great. I'm very much a sex positive person, but there's something important that it needs to be heard there. Physical touch, and that's almost like your love language. I mean, you are an earth sign, so that's very much connected to your body. Make sure you're watching the physical, the body language of the person you're connecting with. Okay, here's what I'm getting. The messages that the things you're curious about and you're in your head about, or do they this or do they that? Make sure you're paying attention to their physical body language. When you mention the idea of moving in together, when you mention the idea of children or starting a family or whatever, if they start to recoil, that's a sign. And the thing is, you guys know that. Spirit is encouraging me to remind you to listen to that more. Take note of body language. You communicate with your body a lot, and something about you can learn a lot from your person the same way. So it also says religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. That's going to guide you in the direction of a person who is on the same page as you. And it's by no means saying you have to marry or be with someone who practices the same faith or spirituality, but essentially what you hold to be important, your ethics, your morals, your values, and what you seek in a romantic partnership, it seems like that was very influenced by a religion or a spiritual upbringing. And again, if that is important to you, if that is truly your own belief and not something you were brainwashed to believe, make sure you are implementing that into whatever your dating profile, or it doesn't even have to be like that, like public, but make sure when you're looking at a mate, are you honoring your system of belief in terms of what you actually want in a partner? There's no need to compromise that. Your faith and religion, it seems to be very important to a lot of my Virgos out there, so honor that. Don't sweep that under the rug like, oh, I'll deal with it later, or I'll compromise, I'll negotiate. Like, you really shouldn't have to negotiate that much there. A lot of you are going to connect with someone who's in a similar spiritual group, or it could be a friendship group, but there's something in common that you guys practice together. It could even be musicians, I suppose, practicing instruments or music, but yeah, there's something like a similar practice. If you're single and looking or dating around or whatever, you may meet someone in I'm going to say a spiritual like group. There's an element of it that is very spiritual to the people who belong to that group or whatever. In fact, there may be a best friend who you lean on for support a lot, especially my male-female relationships out there. It is specifically being relayed to me with gender on this one message. A male-female relationship, the person you go to when you've broken up with someone and you're a mess and you're in tears, that person who kind of gets you through, whether you are male or female, that person may actually have feelings for you. And the thing is, I think you kind of already know that, but there's something about it where you don't feel like it's right for you. You might be wrong. There's a peace of mind that comes in this friendship, and I don't know if you just haven't ever considered them romantic, or the thing is, I don't know if I love this message, though I'm confused by it, because for most of you, you know this person likes you, and I think, Virgo, I'm going to say it, I think you like the attention, but you don't consider it anything more than friendship. So careful that you're not abusing that relationship. Not like false promises, but you know what I mean, like, it's almost like the addiction of, I just need the attention, so I'm going to hit it and quit it, but it's not really my person. Just be careful, because that seems like you're setting yourself up for some tricky karma, and like, that just seems kind of mean. If you know someone has a crush on you and you entertain it just to, and maybe that's what someone's doing to you, right? I don't know, something about your attention needs to be brought to that. Okay, you need to operate first and foremost in relationships that start off as a friendship. If immediately someone is trying to get you into bed with them, it's not to say it couldn't last, but more often than not, if that's been your scenario and it hasn't worked, that's what you're doing wrong. It's like, if you're trying to build a romantic, steady partnership into the future, it has to start with friendship. Do you guys have things in common? Can you go play together? Can you have activities together? Do you have, whatever? Do you root for the same sports team? Is there something that you guys can come together purely on a friendship level? Pretend for a second that it could just be platonic. That's the type of relationship that actually could grow more romantic and sexual into the future. But it's almost like it would be wise for you guys to start off as friends. A lot of you already have that relationship in your life. You're just not seeing it as romantic yet. All right, so area of growth or focus. You guys need to heal some family issues. There may be some, I feel like I say this to you all the time. You may have any issues, whether it's with your family or your aunt or your uncle or your grandparents or your siblings. There's something that it was either learned behavior that was toxic, or it could be the opposite, like a grudge or a resentment of, oh, I'm never going to do that because that's how my parents did it. And something about that, it's coming from a darker shadow side of you. So you're loving from a place of lack, or it's almost being related to more as anger and aggression. You feel slighted by something that happened to you in a family issue, and somehow that's bleeding over into your romantic life, very likely subconsciously. I'm not saying you're purposely acting that way. I think it's something you've held on to for so long, you haven't even realized that it's very much a part of you and how you operate in love and romance. A lot of you, if your parents went through a very nasty divorce, you may subconsciously be fearing commitment because you don't want to end up in a similar position where you fall deeply in love with someone and they up and leave you. You may have abandonment issues or something like that. You may have grown up in a household where one parent was a cheat. They were constantly cheating on the mom or on the dad. It could be either, to be honest. I'm not getting a gender. So you may have a parent who really had a huge, it's not even about a history of infidelity, and something about that. You may be, again, subconsciously reenacting that behavior, or the opposite. You may be terrified to enter into a relationship because you have fear and trust issues of, is that person cheating on me? So it's really valuable for you to look at relationships in your family, in your bloodline, in your DNA. What are the qualities that you admire? What are the qualities that you dislike? And come to a very even-keeled place about it. The qualities you like, are you putting that up on a pedestal and subconsciously beating yourself up because I could never have that. I don't deserve it. Well, it's going to be hard to manifest if you don't think you deserve it, right? Or the opposite, right? Seeing, again, learned behavior where it's like, oh, that's disgusting to me, only you're not doing anything to change the narrative or change the storyline. A lot of you, and I'm by no means a prude, by all means, have sex, have healthy, safe sex, if that's what you want to do. A lot of you use sex as the initiator into a relationship, and that's why you're always disappointed. Because, of course, anyone's going to say anything if you promise them, a sexy night of romance and passion and, getting them into the sheets. That's exciting. I get that. If that is like first and second date material to you, again, I don't mean to sound like a prude, but for you, for my Virgos who relate to this, that's not a healthy choice for you anymore. That's your old story. You need to start looking at the intentions behind what this person is offering to you. Again, I know this is a silly message, but it's very significant and consistent, is that oh God, this is so uncomfortable for me to say, but it's like, you don't need another person to feel sexually satisfied. You know that, Virgo, right? Just consider that, right? Because you're giving away your energy. Like, it really is a deeper thing. You are giving away a part of your energy to people who just, in a sense, they may just view you as a conquest, but then you start to catch feelings and then you feel used over and over and over. It stops here, right? You are healing karmic family issues in that arena, and it stops with you, but you have to make the transition of not allowing that to happen anymore. And I say this with love and compassion, but don't play the victim. It's not happening to you. There's a part of you, subconsciously even, that is choosing those people. So you do need to take accountability for your actions. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. You don't need to feel guilty or ashamed or whatever for whatever has transpired. But you do need to hold yourself accountable for initiating those changes and operating with a different mentality, or taking on new behaviors that are more healthy and adaptive and fit your lifestyle and what you need in a romantic partner. All right, let's take a breath. Those are the collective messages. I know they were a little bit heavy. We're going to talk about good stuff. We are going to switch the vibe. I think this is very valid and very important. If you've made it this far, thank you. It shows me that you are interested in self-growth, which ultimately is what tarot is for. Let's talk about who or what is coming in. If you made it through, I'm already congratulating you. These are some heavy messages, and I know sometimes it's hard to hear, but you heard it, right? That's awesome. Some of you, there may be marriage with a Leo in the future. I don't think it's coming in February, but that, again, there might be a friend who you've always kind of considered, but we'll see. So, okay, this is Scorpio wants to be seen in who or what is coming into your life. So, Could be a Scorpio. If you, Virgo, have very strong Scorpio in your chart, it's saying, even subconsciously, you really struggle with power and control issues. And it could be one extreme or the other. You may seek relationships where there is a domineering presence and you essentially become victimized in it. Or the opposite, you may be extremely authoritative and I need to be in the power player position. And there's an unequal thing. Sorry. There's an unequal, you know what I'm trying to say, imbalance in relationships because of power and control issues. So who or what is coming into your life? I think you're ending that cycle, right? The Scorpio card, the death card, is about ending cycles. I'm going to say it that way. For a lot of my Virgos, it's about ending toxic cycles that you've been repeating over and over and over again. Because the thing is, I think more or less you are going to have an epiphany of how you've been operating, and ultimately you need to change it up. Doing the same thing over and over again, it's always going to yield the same results. So if you are constantly disappointed in your love life, you need to go through some major transformation in how you operate in seeking romantic partnership. Others of you, if you're with a Scorpio, you guys may end up going to couples counseling or therapy in order to work through control issues. There could be something very lovely here with a Scorpio, but it seems like there's a need to be very honest and talk about the relationship. And again, hold each other accountable for making the necessary changes to make this work. It's possible you guys may end up ascending to a higher level. You may even marry this Scorpio, but I am wanting to say that there's something significant here that would need to change in order to get it to work. A lot of you, it seems like you're letting go of a person who is very domineering or controlling over you in a relationship. You have Fool energy with the Ace of Cups, so I think you're starting fresh. A lot of you may end up going after new love. A lot of you are refusing to be the third party anymore. If you were in a relationship with a married couple or just with someone who couldn't decide on their person, you're no longer going to be the option or the side piece. You're like, no. Like, in that case, it's like you're taking your power back. You're like, no, it's me and only me. None of these other bitches, right? I heard none of these other hoes. That's funny. All right. That's good, though. I like that. That's asserting yourself. Because that comes from a place of respecting yourself, Virgo. All right. Yeah, there might be a new Scorpio coming in. Although I don't know how new. Okay, I was just about to say, I don't know how new they are, because the thing is, I think you may have already been. This feels like a one-night stand, but both of you may be thinking about each other. Here's the thing. There's no bad blood with this Scorpio. This is not the ex who treated you like shit. This is another Scorpio. It's not the toxic one. A lot of you may have even slept with this person or made out with them, but it seems very like coincidental or circumstantial. You may have met at a party or via a friend, or even if you guys just had like one really great night of conversation and flirtation, something about it just stopped. That may actually come back around, especially if one of them, your Scorpio may have a child, from another marriage, or, okay, that could be what this is too. You may as well, right? Any single parents out there or whatever. If that's not the case, because Page of Cups isn't necessarily brand new, it's saying you're familiar with this person, but it may ascend in a more romantic way. Especially with a Scorpio. I just keep getting Scorpio, possibly another Virgo as well. It could be, too, that this is someone you had a crush on, but and I like this message a lot, you didn't act on it because this person was already engaged with someone else. They were already taken. It could be they end a toxic relationship because there was an unbalanced power dynamic. If they end up being freed up, they may reach out to you with some sort of love offer or romantic. They may ask you out on a date, something like that. What else is coming in? I'm wanting to call you Scorpio now. That's very interesting. Some of you are going to be getting a new house, and maybe you're moving in with your romantic partner. That's possible. That kind of came out of nowhere. I don't have a lot of other cards indicating that, but hey, if it's your message, especially if you're married to a Leo. Some of you already have a good marriage with a Leo, or a relationship, dating them, even a Cancer. Some of you may be moving in with them. Some of you may be meeting their family for the first time. And you have a lot of anxiety about it, or your person does. Someone has a awkward relationship with their family, and they're introducing a romantic partner into the gang, and there's a lot of it feels uncomfortable, but I don't think it has to be. It's about your perspective and, holding yourself accountable for how you're going to respond to the energy, right? You can't control what other people think or say or do, but you can control you. I think that's good advice. Yeah, you guys need to ascend higher. You need to aim higher in the love that you're willing to accept. Stop fighting for people's attention. If you feel like you're constantly having to send follow-up texts and make sure they're still interested and, send them the naked pictures to keep them interested, like that, that's not working, and it's for a reason. Your love life does not need to be a struggle. If it constantly is, again, don't shoot the messenger. I love you, Virgo, but you're doing something wrong. If you are forcing pieces to fit together that just don't fit, walk away knowing the universe has something better out there for you, especially a king of earth. Okay, I like that. We finally have a king. So possibly a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, male or female, doesn't matter to me. They're 10 of cups in reverse. This might be someone you already know, but you don't look at them romantically. They might just end up being your forever person if you want that, right? And I'm not saying all of you do, right? Maybe you're not looking for commitment. The vibe I get here, though, is that my Virgos are very much looking for commitment, though some of you may be scared of commitment because you got out of a very rough marriage. You very likely have another earth sign that could end up being a long-term partner, whether that's marriage and kids and sharing a house, or just, maybe you're just going to be romantic partners, but you're going to have new boundaries or new, whatever it is. 10 of Cups is here, which is the fairy tale ending. It's the Cinderella story, but it's in reverse. So that says to me, if you're willing to do the work and change the aspects of your life that you're unhappy with, if you're willing to rewrite the script and the story to be in alignment with what you desire and seeking partnership that values you and honors you and listens to what your heart wants, the 10 of Cups is available to you. We can get it in the upright. There's a little bit of zhuzhing. There's a little finesse. There's a little bit of work that goes into it. And this may also indicate if you're in a marriage, especially with a Scorpio or an earth sign, if there is love there, you guys can fix it. If you want to, if there is mutual accountability and responsibility and desire to make this the fairy tale ending, it's there, Virgo. You can do that. It's available to you. Some of you may end up with a person who already has a son or a daughter, in which case you may end up being a stepmom or a stepdad for the first time, and I think that would be beautiful for you. I don't know if that's something you're fearing, but if you are currently dating someone who has a young kid, like younger, like grade school type, whatever, age, some of you may be apprehensive, like, oh my God, like I've never had a kid, and that's like, it's like a foreign concept to you. Don't worry. It's like you were made to be a parent, Virgo. I don't think some of you realize it right now, but you will. Don't let the idea of children dissuade you from a marriage or a partnership, because it fits. There's something very lovely about this energy, but I think from a very deep place, you're not consciously aware of. Some of you don't think you're ready for it or that you don't deserve it. So that's a little bit of internal work that I think you guys need to work on. But you do have people showing up. You have actually a lot of people showing up. So if you're single and looking, or if you're dating and interested, there's definitely people here. Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Did I name anything else? Possibly Aquarius, Aries, Cancer. Anyway. All right, Virgo, let's do some oracle cards. I feel like I called you Capricorn earlier, did I? Apologies if I did. A lot of you, there's a lot of messages with a Leo. So some of them are negative, some of them are positive. But what's the deal? Like, what's the deal with the Leo? Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. Hey, that's awesome. And then mirror, who or what is triggering you? Yes, 1,000 times yes. Karmic partnerships. You're meeting these people for a higher purpose than you're allowing yourself to analyze. You're meeting you're meeting people, and the purpose of you meeting this person is for you to learn something internal. The soulmate, the twin flame, right? It's like they hold up a mirror so that you can see something about yourself that you weren't able to see before by this person entering your life. It has nothing to do with them in the long term, right? If this is a karmic, right? If this is a person who they didn't treat you well and you felt like you got burned or victimized or whatever, it was never about them. It was about you needing to rewrite the history of your family karma or of your dating history, right? I would challenge you to look at the relationships that have been a disappointment or felt like a loss in your life. Just for a minute, be very self-reflective and understand, what about me needed that person? What about me, or what qualities did I desire in that person? Can I take those qualities that I admire and put them into myself? That would be very helpful for you guys. You're very critical of yourself. Like, despite these, I know these are heavy messages. I want to give you a big hug. Some of you have a Gemini who's trying to break through to you and you just don't see them or you just don't want to hear them. It could be someone you dated in the past who didn't treat you well too. Yeah. Some of you have a Gemini, it's like they're trying to break through but you've blocked them or you're not letting them in. And you don't have to. Maybe you blocked them for a good reason, but it's confirmation for some of you. And the name Rose or Rosie or Rosalie, or I don't know if that's a middle name or a last name or something about Rose. Or maybe, I don't know, if they give you roses, something about that is important. Or Rhodes, is that someone's last name? Rhodes? I don't know. Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. You guys have angel guides around you. You have spirit guides around you. Why aren't you communicating with them? Light a candle, sit there with your journal and ask some questions and see what comes to you. You know, see what filters through using your intuition. There's a very important message from family who has passed on, ancestors, angel guides, whatever you believe in. There's a presence around you that is beautiful. It is loving. It's like being wrapped in angel wings, but you're running from it because you're not seeing it. There's someone, again, in the afterlife or whatever you believe in, that they're trying to help see you through and guide you in a direction, but you're very stubborn, aren't you? You're very persistent in chasing what you want, but I think a lot of you are coming to the realization what you want isn't always what you need. Universe will help initiate what you need, but you kind of have to, you have to take the first step, if that makes any sense. All right, last but not least, love oracle cards. Virgo, I hope I didn't beat you up too bad. I only give tough love when I think it's warranted, and I think you guys need it because you have so much potential. You do have love here. You do. I promise you do, but it doesn't come without doing some very, very deep internal work. It doesn't have to be difficult. It's about your perspective, but you do have opportunities for love here. If you're feeling stuck and struggling. Anyway. You had 2 love oracles. You have Ernest Hemingway, who I believe is a Cancer. All right, Ernest Hemingway. Treasure those seconds when you felt your heart beating. Don't allow any tourists into your own private Paris. To love someone and mean it is a rare and valuable thing. Love it. And then Marlene Dietrich. Dress for yourself, not for a lover or occasion. Once you have forgiven your lover, get them to reheat the sin. It's the friends you call after hours that matter.